Dear entrepreneurs, it's Roberto, and it's time for the season finale. Get ready for it. So first of all, thank you everybody for supporting the Dear Entrepreneur series. It's been a great little social experiment for me. It's been a really great creative outlet, a way to get some of my thoughts out there, a way to connect with more of you, and to hopefully educate and inspire you in your journey, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a freelancer, whether you're someone who just gets a lot of value out of my content and you feel like you can relate to me. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me and all the support you've shown for the series. So there are a couple of things I really want to do in this episode. I want to talk a little bit about Season 2, and I want you guys to actually be involved in Season 2. I want to talk about what comes next for me in general as an entrepreneur. I want to talk a little bit about some other things going on in the business, some new developments, and some stuff that happened at the last conference that I went to. But I also want to address something that Felix and a couple of other viewers have brought up in the comments, and it's about the 100,000 YouTube subscribers. And I really want to put this in the context. I really don't have to explain or justify myself or anything, but I'm going to answer it because, for one thing, I'm actually really tired of this question, because for me, it's like I rarely say something like this, but it's like I understand that most people don't get how YouTube actually works. But I've always felt that this is a stupid question because I just think it's obvious. I just think it's an obvious answer, so I'm going to answer it. So the question that comes up so often is, Roberto, it's cool that you have 100,000 YouTube subscribers, but why do you get so few views if you have 100,000 YouTube subscribers? And are they real? I start to question it because I don't understand that. Okay, so check this out. People that I know that I watch on YouTube, like Jared Polin, who has 500,000 YouTube subscribers, go watch his videos. You'll see that the overwhelming majority of them, 30,000 views. Gary Vaynerchuk, big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, love the man, like million Twitter subscribers, about maybe 200,000 YouTube subscribers now, which he doubled up recently, which is huge. Still, Ask Gary V's show caps out at about 40,000, 50,000 views, and Gary is legitimately internet famous and has been on, actually mainstream famous a little bit. Has been on CNN, Fox News, Ellen. Okay? Ellen DeGeneres. 50,000 views. Cool. So I think that it's really obvious that subscribers have nothing to do with view ratio. It's the other way around. Views translate to subscribers. Subscribers do not translate to views. Guys, I watch Arrow in the Flash every week. Not live, number one. I don't watch it the day it comes out. I watch it 2 or 3 days later because hustle, right? CW has a lot of other great shows. iZombie, which I almost never watch. Jane the Virgin, which I almost never watch. I watch the CW on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I do not watch the CW at that time slot on Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays. I think you see where I'm going here. There are plenty of you who are new viewers to the channel that you love, and you started with the Dear Entrepreneur series, and you have no interest in how to grow a YouTube channel, so you're not going to watch my videos on Friday. You have no interest in my graphic design videos on Monday because you're not a designer and you're not looking to hire one, and you're not doing web design or development, you're not doing art, so you don't watch the Monday videos because that's what that show is. You may not be a tech enthusiast, or you may only need to buy a laptop but not build a 4K video editing machine, so you won't watch this particular Tech Tuesday video. That video is not for you. It doesn't solve your problem. If I've shown you guys anything in Dear Entrepreneurs, I hope it's that you understand that marketing and building relationships is about a specific one-to-one variable of why you're watching and why you're viewing and why you like something or what you're there for. Look, you go into Walmart and you're buying 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 things, and that doesn't mean that the other 10,000 things in the store are not valuable to somebody else. So with YouTube, because most people view YouTube as entertainment and as watch, and they see people like Tyler Oakley and PewDiePie, they have this idea of what YouTube is, and I'm talking about this in my Friday videos of what YouTube, how it actually works and trying to show you guys. It does not work the way that 99% of you think it works, which is why less than 0.1% of people, less than 0.1% of people in YouTube have 100,000 subscribers, because the casual YouTube producer or viewer just does really not understand this platform. Much in the same way that the failure rate for entrepreneurship, because of some of the things we've addressed in this series, is so high is because the reality of it is very different when you're on the inside of it versus when you're on the outside of it. The reality is very different of it when you've been doing this for a while versus, not. And so let me break down some realities of YouTube and of my business as it relates to YouTube for you guys that I have not addressed here before. I've constantly said that I'm a businessman first and a YouTuber last. I'm a creative first or second and a YouTuber last. And so everything I do is from that thesis and it's that premise. So YouTube views, as much as I hope you guys are watching and benefiting and more importantly executing on the content, I really don't care if it gets 100,000 views. I just don't. What I care about is that of the 5,000 views that I might get on a video, I pray to God that maybe 100 of you actually did something with it that is benefiting you in your real life and that it means something. You want to talk about view to subscriber ratios? Let's go to the real world. I was just at a conference where there were thousands of attendees. Because I had a smaller auditorium, maybe 800 with people standing in the aisles and in the stairwell viewed my session on social media for creatives and breaking through the noise, right? Of the 800 people that attended and applauded at that speaking engagement, less than 50 hung around to speak to me or ask me a direct question after my session. So you want to talk about view to subscriber ratio? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about view to conversation ratio in the real world on a stage in front of almost 1,000 people, that it trickles down to about only 50 of them deciding to have a one-on-one conversation with you. So that's the real world. So if that's the real world, where people have an actual opportunity to shake your hand or get a hug or ask a question that can change their career, and that's the level of view to engagement on that level, then extrapolate that to the internet and to YouTube and to people not being in real time and like doing things on their time and their schedule, and now you have perspective. Let's make this even more practical. There are 1,000 to 2,000 of you that watch the Dear Entrepreneur series. Out of that, only a couple of you have reached out to me for one-on-one coaching and consulting to help grow your business or your freelance practice or whatever you're trying to accomplish for your career. That has no reflection on the value of the coaching. Some of you may feel that it's not affordable for you. Some of you may feel that you have to do more due diligence and you're not ready to utilize that and take it to the next level. Some of you still aren't aware that I offer that one-on-one coaching consulting. So the conversion rate of people who watch Dear Entrepreneurs and then, or watch any of my content and then reach out to me for coaching is a really small conversion rate. But I'm more than good with that because it still means that I make thousands of dollars in one-on-one coaching and consulting with the benefit of helping you guys. And then out of that, beyond that, per corporate client that I do consulting with, because that's a whole different animal, one corporate client actually probably makes me more than the one-on-one coaching and consulting combined because I make it affordable for you guys. So in the grand scheme of things, when I think about that, like, and I'm not allowed to tell you real, like, hard YouTube numbers because of the terms of service, but I'm going to put something in perspective for you because you guys can look this up on Social Blade. You guys can go to socialblade.com, type in Roberto Blake 2, and you'll see a real breakdown and understand my YouTube channel so much better than I can explain it unless I take an hour to do that, which I won't unless I'm doing a case study video and showing you this new tool that I'm using, which I actually might do a case study because Viduli has some interesting data on my channel, and I think it'll put in perspective, and like I can see that my viewers are real because I can actually see really interesting data, and I can even hit some of my subscribers up in Twitter because of the data Viduli collects, which is actually really cool. And by the way, unofficial plug for them, but I just want you to understand that I'm using this tool to study my channel. And, you know, if you got a little bit of cash and you actually care about studying your YouTube channel, maybe it's worth it to you. I have no idea. I'll link it up in the description. But let's talk about, you guys wonder about how much money I make on YouTube? Okay, according to Social Blade, which is fairly accurate, and I'm not allowed to disclose, but you can use them as a basis, then that means that I'm projected at 18 to 20K for the year off of YouTube AdSense revenue because it can't track my affiliate stuff. It can't track my sponsorship stuff, and it can't track the conversions to my actual business for either visual branding, the coaching, the corporate consulting, any of that stuff, the speaking. It can't track any of that. But AdSense revenue, 18 to 20K, not bad. That's somebody's salary after taxes. So, okay, cool. And I will tell you, it's fairly accurate when you do math, which I'm not a fan of. I need to hire an accountant because I'm really just not a fan of doing any of this money stuff. I just pay the bills and order the equipment and run the business. Like, I really hate accounting. I just do. Like, as far as outsourcing anything, I will outsource the accounting and the billing, procurement and all of that stuff before I ever outsource video editing. Because in reality, like, even though theoretically I should outsource both at this point, someone would tell me, like, I like the video editing and I hate the accounting, and I hate that I literally have, I'll be real with you guys right now, and it's not a brag thing, it's like I literally have $8,000 worth of invoicing that I just haven't done because I hate paperwork. I'm not even kidding. So in the grand scheme of things, for what YouTube provides, which is not, anything to sneeze at in terms of my overall revenue pipeline, by comparison, doing the actual business, which I care more about, has more actual monetary upside for me. I do the YouTube channel because legacy-wise, I want to create value. I want to make a dent in the universe. I want to do the thing that in episode 28, all of you guys shared, well, not all of you, but enough of you shared your story and what, like, my content has done for you and meant for you, made an impact in your life. The people that I got to meet, there's some of you who were fans who were at How Design Live this past weekend, and I got to meet you in person and you got to tell me your story. Like, one young woman was able to tell me that she's slightly older than most people graduating with a design degree, and that, she was really struggling to get a job before, but then she used my portfolio course that I offered through How, and she also watched my portfolio videos on YouTube, and that she was able to get a job she thought she'd never be able to get, and it worked out really well for her, and she loves the company she's at. And that was something that almost literally had me tearing up, because I understand and I know what that is like, and it's rough. And I know so many people, whether they're older or younger, in college. I have younger siblings. My youngest sister is going to start at SCAD next year. My brother's taking a health sabbatical from college, and he was at the Art Institute, and he has to decide what he wants to do with his life. I make my videos to help solve real problems. I can give a crap about YouTube views and subscribers at this point. I really could. And even when I started, I really could give a crap about it. I'm more interested in actually solving the problem, since I can't hop in a DeLorean, fix 22-year-old Roberto, get him out of his own head, get him out of his own way, and fix his crap. I can at least help the rest of you. And that's what I care about. That is really, at the end of the day, what Dear Entrepreneurs, what the Monday design videos, the Tuesday tech videos. Look, do you realize how many times as a kid, because there was no practical stuff on YouTube at that time, that I blew money on crap that just didn't work or wasn't what I needed? And boy, would a great product review from somebody who actually uses this thing every day have been helpful to me. That was practical, right? When I was learning photography and camera stuff in college, I had to spend money to do that. Thankfully, I also grew up around photographers my whole life, and it was easy enough for me to pick up. But if it wasn't, wow, it really sucked that I couldn't just turn on a thing and understand in 5 minutes how to use my camera more effectively. That matters. Boy, would have been great to have software tutorials, because when I was in college, we didn't have software tutorials as videos. We had to actually flip through a 50-page printout for a tutorial to learn how to use the basics of a tool in 2002. I had to, back when Macromedia owned Flash. You guys don't know, Adobe didn't own Flash and Dreamweaver initially. Macromedia did, and they were a competitor, and Adobe acquired them. That's how old I am. I actually remember that. I remember Fireworks. I remember, guys, I'm 32. I'm ancient, okay? In internet time, I'm old. I'm an old millennial. I am ancient, okay? I'm Mumra. Actually, Mumra is pretty cool. 80s nerd reference here, but, whatever. So, guys, I remember when YouTube didn't exist, because YouTube didn't come out until I was already a grown adult. And back then, all we did was watch ads on YouTube. We would watch like the Super Bowl ads from back in the day. We'd watch the ads that were banned from TV. We'd watch the terrible Terry Tate office linebacker videos and watch him, like, you know, tackle somebody. It's like, you killed the Joe, you make some more. We would like watch that stuff and goof around and just sit around the kitchen on someone's laptop, you know, laughing at ads on YouTube all day. Which is why I don't understand ad block, because I mean, some ads are really good. Like, but you know, it's things like that. So having those tutorial videos would have been really helpful to me a decade ago if that had been the kind of thing that existed on the internet, and it didn't. And so that's why I make them, is because somewhere someone's going to resonate with my teaching style, and someone's going to actually have something practical that will make a real difference in their life and encourage them to stay on something. Like one day, I really want to influence and help build up a content creator, or like that's an animator, because like, you know, 15, 16-year-old Roberto didn't have YouTube to be able to learn how to be an animator, got really discouraged, got really jaded, gave up on that particular dream and quit. Real talk, I did a whole vlog about that maybe a year ago, about why I quit animation to become a designer. And I almost guarantee you that if YouTube had existed 20 years ago, that I might be an animator at Disney or Marvel today. Because I probably wouldn't have quit, or I would have opened up and I would have done my own thing, and maybe I'd be an animator working for Machinima or Rooster Teeth. Maybe I would have worked with Monty Ohm on Ruby at some point if YouTube existed. Or maybe I would have started my own thing and did my own online animated series and made bank off of that and made a living from that if YouTube had existed. And so, more than anything, I do everything I do, and it's very practical, and I made it practical. I made it serve my altruistic need to give and to solve a problem for a younger version of me somewhere in the world, somewhere in the universe. That altruistic why that drives me, and the what I can do about it. I do all the work in between. That is the how, is the practicality, is the process of all of that. And I do it from that pure place and from that passion, and it's why I can talk to you guys about it and why I don't need a script. So I hope that all of the people watching and subscribing are real human beings and not robots. I really hope so. And more than that, I hope that more than 2% of them are actually executing and making their lives better as a result of something that I've put out there for them. And that's really all I can say about that. That's really all I can do. I mean, look, you guys see that I'm spending money on a crap ton of gear. I'm spending money flying out of the airport every single month. And a guy's got to eat too. And I like my entertainments. So besides that, and the soul-crushing business taxes that most of you who are watching this may not have to deal with because you may not be there yet. Like, you know, and I'm going to like slightly tease Felix here a little bit. It's like, Felix, if you think that my view count or my subscriber count is fake in any way, understand that with the soul-crushing business taxes that you have to pay when you start making any real money, you're not worried about buying fake subscribers, and you're not worried about YouTube vanity, and you're not going to buy any fake subs, because that's not going to help you. Because you're going to have to pay, like, what? If you do any amount of, like, real money, you have to pay, like, $8,000 a year, plus, when you start doing any real money, in business taxes, and that's at the federal level and not even counting the state yet. So when you look at that, plus the operating expenses of running a business day in, day out, when you look at that and then do $20,000 a year in infrastructure investment to grow your business, not your YouTube channel, mind you, your actual business, and then you pay rent, utilities, and all the other things, and you pay vendors for when you outsource, and you pay all your travel, and you do all of those things, and you pay the interest on your credit cards, and if you have student loans, which thank God I don't, but if you had student loans and you were paying that, after you pay all of your health insurance, and if you have full-time employees, after you pay their health insurance, after you put money in your IRA for retirement, after you put money in your SEP for your retirement, after you pay your life insurance so that if you're God forbid, something happens and you're hit by a bus, that your people are taken care of. After you do all of that, after you pay your business insurance, after you do all of that, you don't really think, boy, I'm going to throw and allocate some budget to buying some fake crap that doesn't matter aside from feeding attention. You just don't, because it's just not a practical way to do business. And if you guys have seen anything from me, I hope you understand how much I obsess over practicality and frugality, and how much I whine about spending money and then just suck it up and invest in things that matter. If I could throw money at anything, it would never be views or subscribers. If I could throw money at anything, I would throw money at targeted advertising and marketing that gets me another $5,000 retainer client. So I would never spend money on Fiverr for fake YouTube subscribers or views when I could spend money in Facebook ads and target a chief marketing officer somewhere, or when I could spend money and go to a conference and shake hands and do dinner meetings and then generate like $10,000 more in revenue for the year. I would just spend money on doing those things, and that's why I spend my money on. Like, that, and obviously create awesome t-shirts. I spend money on those things. I spend very little money into growing this YouTube channel. I spend my money into running my business. I spend money into putting myself in rooms with the smartest people in the world, the most successful people in the world. I spend money that makes me money. I will spend $1,000 to make $10,000 or $20,000 in a heartbeat. I do that when it means hopping on a plane and 3 connecting flights. That's what it takes. Like my last trip to social media marketing world, because that wasn't covered, I had to spend about $700 on the round trip plane ticket for that. And, that was intense. Then I had to spend money on the hotel for the 4 days. So I probably spent $1,500 on that trip. And, and you have to keep in mind that I'm traveling every month now. I literally just got back from Atlanta, and then I'm going to speak at 2 panels on MomoCon. I'm traveling in 4 days. This time, instead of flying, I'm driving down with my best friend Malcolm, and we're going to do that. And so me and my friend Celia are going to be speaking on a panel about photography and modeling. We're doing 2 panels. One of them is on etiquette, and then the other one is the technical side of it. And that's going to help a bunch of people up. Now, they're not paying a crap ton of money for that. You don't get paid a lot of money for panels. You get paid money for keynotes and for speaking sessions and for Q&A. You don't get a lot of money for panels. Sometimes you get no money for panels, for those of you thinking about public speaking. So that matters. What else is coming up? VidCon is coming up. I've got expense against that. I'm not getting paid to go to VidCon, but that will be very beneficial in a learning opportunity and some collaborations, plus some great content. I'm talking to some people about sponsoring something that I might do at VidCon, so that could be cool, and you guys might get to see that. I have an upcoming trip to New York. I can't tell you all the details of the New York trip because it is super business, but there are a couple of things that are going to happen in New York. I'm going to a conference called Next Gen Summit. I'm going back there. I'm going as press, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to interview some of the greatest millennial talent and millennial entrepreneurs of our generation that have done great things and changed the world. I'm going to get to see a lot of my friends from last year. That's how I met Tayo Roxon, actually, and Jared Kleiner, 2 amazing people that, I feel very lucky, feel very grateful to have been able to have made a difference in my life, have formed real life friendships, hug those guys every single time I see them, so it's going to be good to see them again. Tayo recently did something with the UN, which is just mind-blowing. I can't imagine doing something that significant, not yet. And so I have mad respect for everything he's doing. Of all the people younger than me, I would say that I respect Tayo and Jared the most out of almost anybody younger than me that I've ever worked with or met, and that's just real talk. while I'm there, I'm staying for an extra period of time because VaynerMedia has a food and tech festival that I'm interested in going to. And while I'm in New York during that time, there's a possibility that I might, ask Gary if we can do some content over at Vayner. And beyond that, there's some stuff about editing where I might just want to ask D-Rock some things. So I really respect what D-Rock's doing. David Rock, for those of you not part of the Vayner Nation, like David Rock is doing some tremendous stuff as a filmmaker and cinematographer. And when you see Daily V, you really see what his skills and his chops are, even beyond what the Ask Gary V show was, just because of the limited amount of editing that Gary wants and allows there. But D-Rock really gets to show his brand and his chops and shine when you watch Daily V, and I love that. And so there's a lot of things that I just want to talk to him about that I'm thinking of doing. There is a next phase for something I'm doing in my own business, in the media company I'm building, that will be really interesting. By the way, if you guys haven't figured it out, my personal brand is a blueprint for a bigger business. Like, we'll probably get more into that in season 2. Season 2, you guys. August, vlog every day in August. Season 2, Dear Entrepreneurs, we're doing that. July, I might be in Chicago for Podcast Movement. I might be part of the social media team for that and press. We've been in talks. I just have to see if I can sustain the travel because I'll just be getting back from VidCon. I'll probably stay later in California than VidCon because there's some client opportunity stuff, so I might have meetings, and that might actually reimburse me for the trip plus go profitable. So if there's an opportunity to do that, then maybe I work it out that way in the schedule. I just have to see if that works for everybody involved. And again, it's client stuff. I can't talk about it. But that's what's going on for June. July, there's another trip in July. There's another trip to New York in July because I can't tell you what it is, but I'm the executive producer on a web series that's going to be launching this summer. And there is a best-selling author tied to it. And so I'm managing certain things on the back end of the YouTube channel. There's things I'm doing in the editing. There's things, and there's also reasons why there might be days where I skip a video based on this real schedule. But on those days, I'll be releasing either a quick tip video that I pre-shot, or I'll be releasing a Periscope replay of my live streams from Periscope for you guys to not miss a day, and also to create value for you and put something else out there. So that's something else that's going on, is I'm having to find ways to increase the production schedule and also repurpose content to be consistent, while at the same time giving more of my time back to the growing and the building of the actual business and to clients, because it's important to maintain both of those things. And then you guys know I'm working out at the gym now 3 days a week. I'm trying to get it up to 5. So putting that all together logistically has been really interesting while not having the content fall off. Finally, heading out to the Midwest in September for Bloggy Conference. That's going to be amazing. And mostly Bloggy Conference, there are a lot of great female speakers. I was fortunate enough to be one of the male speakers chosen for this just because of the community around that conference. And I really appreciate and respect that. I think it's going to be awesome. I love female entrepreneurship. I have 2 sisters. One day when I get married and I have kids, I definitely want to have daughters, and I want them to be baller. Like, they're going to be like Amazonian, they're going to be like Khaleesi, they're going to crush it. And so I get really excited about like female entrepreneurship because it's this bigger mountain to climb in so many ways that us guys take for granted. Like, if I was a female YouTuber, I could not produce the volume of content that I produce because I would have to be self-conscious about how I'm judged by my appearance, my hair and makeup. It wouldn't be as simple as just changing the color of my shirt and mass producing content. And so I have a lot of respect for my female friends in the YouTube community. It's something we talk about a lot, and I'm trying to give them growth hacks for ramping up their production while still dealing with that, just because, guys, like, the girls on these platforms have it a lot harder. The women on these platforms have it a lot harder than we do. And that's just real talk. And I super believe in it. So I'm going to be talking to them about how they grow their YouTube channel. And I think it's going to be an amazing talk. I think there's going to be a lot of value. I know there's going to be a lot of Q&A. While I'm out there, if I can stay a day, if I can go extra, A lot of the team from Print Magazine is out there, and we were talking over at How, because it's the same publishing company. So I might just like take a bus out to Cincinnati, because I'm going to be in Sandusky. And if that's practical, then I can do that for a day or two, and I can check that out, and I can get to see like all the archived like issues of the magazine on a wall, and I could take a time lapse of something. So I mean, there's just so many cool things I can do if I get to do that. So it's a matter of making that practical, figuring out the travel for that. Thankfully, those plane tickets are a little cheaper, especially if I buy them in advance. I really struggle with like buying travel tickets in advance because plans change, and it's like really hard to get the tickets exchanged or refunds. It's the thing that's like, as practical as it is to get it while it's cheaper, I always end up waiting till the last minute on buying my travel tickets just because I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop because of my anxiety and paranoia. And like, that's a real thing, and that's something that like with, by the way, I'm actually hiring a life coach to help me deal with that. Like, real talk. While I'm going to Atlanta again this week, I'm also going to Atlanta in August for Dragon Con. Not in any official capacity, that might come in later years, but I'm going to go to Dragon Con because I'm going to shoot photos there because I like that. And since I'll be in Atlanta again, maybe I'll hit up Terry and see if we hang out and do something, because I kind of got him a little bit into it because of the cosplay stuff being different and cool. So maybe we do some shooting out there. I also will go back in September for Anime Weekend Atlanta. So I'm going to be hitting up Atlanta a lot. And then while I'm there, in both instances, I have to go and devote some time to doing house shopping because of the move. I've already been doing just a little bit of that. I've been doing it online, but with moving the business and moving and packing up and going there next year, there's a lot of practical things that go along with that I have to do. So October's Revolve. So I'm talking to some people. It looks like I might be speaking at Revolve again in beautiful Charleston. Regardless of what, I'll be there for Revolve because I'm alumni as a speaker, so I have a free ticket, so yay. So I'll go do that. Charleston's not a hard trip to do, and it's not expensive. And so if I'm a speaker, I'm covered on everything. If not, then I'll just Airbnb it. So those are some things going on with travel and things for me. Adobe Max is in November. I'm going to try and be involved with that. There are talks going on. And what else is happening? In between all of that, there are some speaking engagements I have with colleges, and some of that will involve more travel logistics. I think that I'm going to literally have to buy things and leave my travel bags packed because that's going to make it easier. Like, I think I just literally mentally overwhelmed myself with the travel part of everything that's going on. I think I also bummed myself out earlier talking about taxes, which I owe you guys a rant on. I did a mini version of that here. But I think that those two things, I think I love travel. And more importantly, I love the food. I love the food that goes with travel. You guys don't know that secretly I'm a foodie. Like, and every time I travel and I go somewhere I haven't gone before, I have whatever the local like thing to have is, whatever the local special is, and I get really, really into it. So much so that I can never be bothered to take pictures of it for you guys in social. We were actually, when I was talking with some people at a dinner meeting this weekend, we are actually all really getting into it, and I was like looking at what everyone else had, and I was like, I love what I have, no regrets, but boy, do I kind of really wish I was here longer so I could have that, and that, and that, and I was like, but then I'll have to go to the gym more. Like, really, seriously, I'll have to go to the gym more. And I got really bummed out about that. Like, I got really sad about it. And then everyone else ordered cocktails, and I immediately regretted ordering my wine because Gary got me into white Zins. So I got a Behringer White Zinfandel, and it was really good. It was a great wine. It paired perfectly with the salmon I was having. But the minute I saw everyone else's cocktails, I was like, oh wow, I made the wrong choice. So I mean, it's things like that, and so you get a little bit of a sense of like the things that I do when I'm traveling and how I enjoy it, and that it's work for me, but I make it fun. I really do love and enjoy it. And so that balances out the feeling of being overwhelmed by, oh, the airport and oh, logistics and all of those things. So, I mean, it's something I enjoy. I actually literally write my articles sometimes for How and Print and Creative Pro and the other publications. And that's paid writing, by the way, so that's like money. That's like a client thing. Like, I sit there and I literally whip out my iPhone. This is where you guys don't get how I use the time thing. I talked about micro time before, but like the thing with that is I'm on the plane for X amount of hours, so I literally will sit there and I'll be listening to, every time I go to a conference, I listen to Conference Crushing by Tyler Wagner. I'll link that up in the description. I listen to Conference Crushing, and while I'm listening to Conference Crushing, I'm sitting there and I'm writing my articles in my iPhone in notes, and then when I get off the plane, I literally have Siri read my notes back to me so that I can hear how it sounds out loud and do grammar and stuff based off of that. And so that's how I do it. Then after I check into the hotel and I do all of that stuff, I need to do a video about my workflow for writing articles, because then now that I have Grammarly, I run it through Grammarly for tense and tone and spell check and all of those things by taking it into Microsoft Word, then activating my Grammarly plugin, and then I do all that editorial, and then I post my draft, and then if I'm getting the pictures for it, I source all that stuff, which I should start outsourcing photo research. That's going to be more practical for me. That's another thing I need to outsource in the business. Again, this is a longer Dear Entrepreneur video than I think I've ever done, but it's the finale. It's like, it's episode 30. It's finally here. And, 29 was really short. So I wanted to create the maximum value for you guys. I'm going to miss this series and taking off from it for this long until we come back in August for season 2. Everybody, I want to know what your questions are about business and entrepreneurship and freelancing and hustle culture for season 2, and about my processes for season 2 of Dear Entrepreneurs. I want that in the comment section. So I want that. The other thing I want you guys to do is something very altruistic. I'm going to use the YouTube charity feature, and I'm going to pick a charity and post it in the info card of this video. Some of you might have seen me sneaking that into videos lately, but I think I'm going to go back and add that to every single Dear Entrepreneurs video. So I want you guys to go back and watch them again. I want you guys to share them with friends, and then if you're not going to, click on recommended books in the descriptions, because I'm going to go back and add those for recommended books, especially the ones I mentioned in those videos. If you're not going to even do that, if you're not going to subscribe, if you're not going to like, if you're not going to comment, more than anything, what would mean the world to me is if you pick one of these charities in the info card annotations and you make at least a $5 donation to a charity that means something to you or that you think does real good in the world. And I would really love it if you do that. So there's a couple of things you can do that I would really appreciate. 1, share Dear Entrepreneurs with as many people as you think would get value from it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see in season 2. Leave me a comment. Let me know how this has affected or impacted or changed you, or how you learned more about me, whatever you want. And also make sure that if there's a book or a resource that I put out there, that you're checking the description for it, because that's where I'm going to put that stuff. But also, I'd really love it if you donate to one of these charities, because I'd love to do more. And next year, I think a lot of what I do is going to be about galvanizing and moving the Create Awesome community to do more, to literally create awesome worldwide. Create Awesome worldwide? Is that going to be a thing? I might have to do something about that. But I really want us to take this on a bigger level. I really want us to make more of a difference in people's lives. I want the community to do more together. And I'm thinking about ways to make that practical and to, really just see what we can do and how we can create value for other people, how we can literally build a better world that we all share and live in. So if there's nothing else that I really want to do for my legacy, it's that. Is that I want the world, everyone says they want the world to be better than how they left it. I'm very specific about how I want the world to be better. I want people to be more educated, more empowered, to be able to make their passion practical and live a life that they're very proud of and that they're happy to wake up to every single day, so that they don't go through the anxiety, fear, depression, the thoughts of self-harm that I dealt with for the far majority of my life. I want to end that narrative for as many people as possible. I want less people to be depressed about their soul-crushing job or what they feel is their like devastating existence. I want them to feel empowered in what they're doing, whether they have a real like physical disability, whether they have an invisible illness like so many members of my family, whether they have like something like a mental illness or condition, and maybe they were like I was and they suffer from severe depression and anxiety to the point of being hospitalized, or if they're on medication. I want people to be able to win in the lives that they have and make them better. Because boy, if I could go back in time and be a Yoda to myself, you guys may not get any. If I could time travel, I don't know if you guys would ever get any content from me, because I would just be living a very different, very happy life that I'm grateful for, which I am now. But I would like to believe that I would just share that message and that happiness and would become a motivational and inspirational guy. I really want to believe that that's true, but I have this inkling that I'm not sure if I was that happy that early in life that I'd be generous then. It would take maybe another couple of years, and I would do it in my late 30s maybe, or I would do it in my early 30s, and that would be where it would start. Because like maybe I would end up on the same path, but it'd be different. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I just am not sure. So guess what? It's a really good thing I'm not an actual Time Lord. Okay? Like, real talk. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for enjoying the Dear Entrepreneur series. More to come. There will be other interesting series on the channel. Mini-series, travel, blah, blah, blah. But also the regular 7-day-a-week content, as long as it becomes practical for the business, or as long as I can maintain this, I'm going to keep doing YouTube content and helping as many people as possible through that platform, because it's just the biggest platform I have to do it. And so that's what I want to keep doing. I want to keep creating awesome things and sharing them with the world. And anything that lets me do that, I'll be doing it. But guys, I'm also in Twitter. I'm also in Periscope. I'm also in Facebook. I'm also in so many of these other platforms, and you can access me on your own terms with them, so I'd encourage you to do that. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, you guys, and as always, just remember, create something awesome today. Oh, by the way, I will still vlog on Sundays. I'll still vlog on Sundays. That's not going anywhere. Anyway, create something awesome today. Take care.